morning from Miami Beach. It's Dr. John Bennett with another episode of Neurosurgical Super Sunday with Hyperion. Today we're featuring a discussion with a navigation engineer, Arpit, and you're going to meet him right now. Why don't you let's meet Arpit right now. Arpit, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Arpit Paliwal, Director of Happy Reliable Surgeries. We are into computer-assisted surgeries and we are developing the products for brain and spine surgeries. Our specialty is image-guided surgery and robotics.
Okay,
so we could be utilizing this platform for having a lot of technical discussions.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, let's meet everyone before we turn it over to Ipe and you. Musindo, good day.
Oh, okay, good day. I'm Augusto Jacinto Musindo Alberto. I'm resident of Neurosurgery in Maputo Central Hospital in Mozambique.
Very good. Welcome. Edmundo, welcome back. Go ahead, Edmundo. Oh, let me unmute you, Edmundo. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone, and good afternoon, Dr. Ipe. I'm Edmundo from Peru, and I was fellow resident with Dr. Ipe in Viratnagar.
Welcome, welcome. Okay, hello, Wang. How are you doing in China?
Hello, Dr. John. At China, it's time night 2039.
Okay, you're a neurosurgeon in Shanghai.
Yeah, I'm a
Shanghai, right?
In Shanxi province, I do surgery about trauma, tumor, and aneurysm. So recently, because coronavirus disease, we have some little time. So,
restriction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, welcome. And you run a cysterostomy group in China, correct?
Yes, yes.
Very good. We have a panelist. I don't recognize the name. It's in Chinese. I don't know, but perhaps we'll meet you later. Okay, very good. Ipe, why don't you direct the proceedings and take it away? And welcome, Ipe.
John, good morning. Everybody, good evening today. So the whole purpose of doing this meeting that, we are looking at a new type of neurosurgery. We've done neurosurgery with the same kind of instruments without much change. We've been going in the same lines. There has never been a paradigm shift. After Professor Yasagil and his group used the microscope, there has not been much changes, the microscope has just got bigger and bigger, and probably if you knew, Dr. Yazagil still operates with the old microscope because the new microscope is it's the newest thing actually. So the optics has not really improved. You can understand that the technology today is amazing, and if you apply this technology to neurosurgical instruments, we should be operating with much lesser access, much safety, and much more ease. And the learning curve will be much less for these young neurosurgeons. Gone are the days when you should be learning for 10 years and then get into being experienced. Those days are gone. So what I want you to do today is, the technical people, you should tell us how can we get the real surgical image and navigation image superimposed after that. It's like a mixed reality. We need mixed reality images. It's not AI. It's not virtual reality. It is a mixed reality where the real surgical field is there, and on top of that we superimpose. Pretty accurately, we can superimpose the carotid, the structures that I want. And that is one thing. Plus, we are going to think about ports for surgery, exoscope and endoscope coming in together, So microscope, the whole concept of microscope goes away. And things like that. This is what we are intending to discuss today. So we start off these discussions with Arpit talking about the basics of navigation, and then how can we go ahead and fuse the navigated image to instead of using a stick to figure out where you are and then think that it is there. Instead of that, let us see what is in the field and then what is behind the thing, what you're doing, what you're operating. Let us see it and then operate. So that is much more better. And that is possible with today's technology. So that's what Arpit has to explain about the basics of navigation, and then we can go on to see how we can apply mixed reality to the present neurosurgical scenario. Thank you very much. I will.
Okay, Arpit, you want to comment?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So what I will do, I will just give you a basic overview like what we are doing in terms of the technology, and probably we will get into the later part of it, how we can, get the new ASCO things navigated. So I think I have to share the screen. So I'll just give a brief overview of like what we are doing so that everybody will get a gist. And
Yeah,
then
you're
about
going to
our
give a more
technology.
detailed presentation later, correct?
Yeah, so today I will try to keep it in a precise way. So is my screen visible?
Okay, there you go. Yeah, we see it.
Okay.
Very good.
So I'll quickly go through like why we started. So our history is like that we were working for one of the global navigation devices company, and we were doing a lot of things there. But we realized that specifically, the requirement for the growing economies are very, very different from the developed world. So their infrastructure is totally different. The kind of infrastructure what you got inside OT, the kind of technical stuff, there are a lot of things which are different. So it's just not you make something very cheap and you can simply get it right into the place. So that was the reason we started the company, and we ensured that whatever we developed, it should be as simple as possible, and it should be as realistic as possible, and it should not be in terms of complexity, it should not be very complex for the OT staff as well as for the surgeon. So that was the reason we started. We were India's only company who is into navigation system, and our headquarters is in Bangalore. So this is a quick overview like how our system looks. So we have been using the proven technology across the globe into the navigation system for accuracy, and that technology is giving us a lot of advantages. So one of the advantage for the technology what we are using is like there is no consumables associated with the system, and I will get into more detail of that in the later slide. So if you see conventional navigation systems are using gluons, if you can see my mouse pointer, so there are a lot of balls associated with the navigation system, or if it is a magnetic navigation system, a lot of cables would be required, and those are like consumables. Or if it is a battery operated, a lot of batteries would be required. And specifically for the economies or for the solutions what we were developing, we ensured that these things should not be there, and also it should make the things as simple as possible. So the whole system is controlled by a wireless remote, and full surgical workflow can be controlled from there. So in this journey, we also got some prestigious national award for the system what we have designed. So I'll just give you a brief overview. This is how our technology looks. So this is totally different from the conventional technology. And as what Dr. Cherian was mentioning, what we would be doing would be something unconventional. And anything to do unconventional, we have to use the ways which are not currently used or currently exist into the market. So this is the kind of technology what we are using. It is a pattern recognition technology. So the best part is the patterns are associated on the stools itself. So there is no setup time required for the OT staff. There are no consumables. It is fully autoclavable. And if you see the specific way we have designed, it is a combination of probes in 2 dimensions. So in optical navigation system, everybody understands that the problem is if there is something which comes between the line of camera and the tool. So system is not able to recognize. To reduce that, what we have done, we have combined two probes together at a particular angle. So now if you see, if we move the probe is visible at 170 degrees. So any of the pattern if visible, system is able to track the tool. So it helps us in complex locations, in prone surgeries, in various type of placements where the visibility could be a problem. And if you see, we have developed this live camera view is also there. So this is also something which is very unique, and probably this could be the lines where we would be working on the new development, where we will be replacing microscope with escoscope and endoscope. So if you see here, this is a view which the camera is seeing. So there is a pattern which is recognized by the camera. So this is a tracker and this is a probe, and during surgery it has been recognized. If you see, by augment view, we are projecting it back in terms of, like, there are some here, if you can see some lines are there, I hope it is visible. So if you see, very small lines are there and something is written. So it's a kind of a small augment view which has been put onto the 2D space. So this technology, along with the way we are using it, similar to that, we would be developing or enhancing the technology so that it can be utilized for our requirement. So one more thing which I would like to highlight here is specifically for doing infant cases with optical navigation system. As per my understanding is it's not possible, or even if it is possible, it's very difficult. But what we have developed is like small innovations. So if you see, it's a pediatric tracker simply based on the pediatric, and then in the real time, this is the infant can be navigated without putting the infant or the patient on spins. So these are small examples where it's a live camera view which I discussed earlier. This is like easy prone registration because of the probe how we have designed. It becomes easy for us to visualize it through the camera, and various kind of surgeries is possible. If you see the whole infrastructure with the single click, the whole, this is a multi-slice view in which just one click and the whole vessels are visible. Usually what happens, we just see a cut of vessel in a slice, but now what we are seeing is a stack of slice. So specifically for aneurysm cases or AVM cases, where we wanted to see the blood vessels, it becomes very easy and handy. We don't require too much of processing to be done. It's just one click and the view is available. And it can be attached on custom instruments. So for example, what you are seeing, like a tracker is attached on the endoscope and the endoscope being navigated. So these are the examples probably where we might also have to calibrate endoscope or exoscope to know the real-time location, as well as we have to calibrate themselves as an endoscope or exoscope to make sure whatever pixels are there, we will be having a one-to-one sync. So which is something similar to what we do in microscope calibration. So there is a lot of technology behind that. I will not go much into detail of that, but I will be giving a gist how the things could be going. So whatever tool we will be tracking, first of all, we have to ensure the tool geometry is known by the navigation system, and inside the tool, whatever is getting projected, that also need to be calibrated. So all those things from the technology what we are having, probably we can start getting into the right direction. And once we start prototyping and fine tuning it, we will be understanding where exactly we are standing. So the one more advantage is we don't have to use any foot pedal or wires or something. The whole system can be controlled by a simple wireless remote. All surgical workflow can be controlled. So anyway, when we are removing the big pieces from the from the operation theater, it would be handy if we have everything, all the power in our hand. So we can do all possible surgeries, which is possible by any traditional navigation system. So for example, if you see this shunt case, so here the skull part is not there, and definitely it is very difficult to put the patient on pin. And with our navigation system, we simply put a pediatric and it can be done. So what we wanted to highlight here is there are various different kind of solution to solve a problem, and we feel the technology what is there probably is going to help us in that direction. So this is some of the things, like we can integrate 3D CM or 2D CM or even a CT based navigation, if you can see on my screen. So that is also possible with the system. So capability, full end-to-end capability is there in the system, and it can work with any CM, including flat panel CM. So hardly like only one navigation company can work on the flat panel for 2D navigation, and we can also navigate on 2D navigation. A lot of installation base in India is there, and this is like how the journey looks like for us. So some awards and recognition. So would be going now is like something which not, I would say something totally beyond the current capabilities of the hardware. So for working for navigating inside the view and projecting it, first we have to calibrate that. And one of the challenges, whatever we are calibrating, that would be probably a 4K camera, so a lot of pixels would be there. And I think we had discussion with Dr. Cherian. He was telling probably we will keep navigation camera separate, but when we will be projecting inside the navigation camera, all pixels and all the information need to be taken. So I'm just like giving you overview, like whatever device we will be utilizing for getting the image, that device itself need to be calibrated inside a 3D space. And then we will be also calibrating what is visualized inside that. So both correlation we should know. So what camera is seeing, and then where exactly camera is located in the 3 dimension. Once we know all the details with precision, then it becomes quite easy to give a projection or a kind of virtual projection on the screen what we are seeing. And also it will require good segmentation, because segmentation still, whatever algorithms are there, they are still, I would say, having a rough estimation, and a lot of I would say fine tuning would be required. So there could be a discussion, and definitely we can utilize this platform for discussion, because how much time as a neurosurgeon would be required for doing all those pre-processing. So as per our understanding, it becomes very difficult for doing a lot of pre-processing, lot of pre-planning before the cases, because it could be good for initially few cases, but after some cases, if for every case we have to do, then it looks like the technology is becoming a burden, and it's not increasing the time. It's like not decreasing the time, it's increasing the time. So probably those things we can discuss in this platform. So that would be like a brief overview about what we are doing and how probably we can utilize the technology in the direction we wanted to go. So maybe Dr. Cherian can give some thoughts, or maybe the panel members can give some thoughts, and probably we can have more interactive discussion on this.
Okay, we'll find our way. Okay, Ike, you want to direct things?
Yeah, I mean, see, it's an excellent idea. So it is exactly what we are thinking of. When we have a field, you can see something in that field. Okay. So there is a surgical field, and you can see something, let's say a brain, a part of brain, a vessel on the surface, and underneath that there are probably some aneurysm or some tumor or something, right? We're not exposing the whole brain. That's what is called minimal. So we exposing only a part of the brain. And our purpose is to understand what is on this side, what is on this side, what is on top, what is below, what is inferior, superior, all that relations we should know. That is the whole purpose of navigation, right? So in a microscope or an endoscope view, you are only able to get just the superficial picture. So what I propose to do is, we have a virtual reality image of the patient aligned to the real field. That's the first step. Which means, take the patient's head. This is the patient's head. Let's say, now you have created a virtual reality image of the patient's head, with very high resolution scans. That is this. This is A, the patient's head. That is where we are going to have a surgical field. Now, 2 is the virtual reality image of the patient's head. Now, when you register, what you are doing is you fusing these both together. This virtual reality image is being fused to the patient's head. Now, once you fuse it, there are some things which can move, like the brain can move, the ventricles can move. This is called the brain shift. Now, that is a separate issue. Forget about that right now. Okay, we can sort it out without the ultrasound. We can sort it out. But skull base doesn't move.
Yes.
The skull base doesn't move. Okay, so things which move is a different thing. Again, with AI, we could even calculate brain shift. So out of it, let's not think about it right now. Depending on the position of the head, we can calculate brain shift. Actually, there are many algorithms right now, Arpit will tell you, where you can actually calculate the brain shift, or you can even use a 4D ultrasound, like the sonovant. And the sonovant can register just into, the sonovant or any other 4D ultrasound can register just like a beautiful image. And then, you can fuse it with your MRI and get your details. Now, the skull-based thing doesn't move. Now, so first thing is the real picture. Second thing is the virtual reality image. You fuse that. And now you want to navigate each instrument of yours with relation to these structures, not in three planes. 3 planes that you get is axial, sagittal, and coronal. That is not what you want. You want that I see the surgical field. So for example, I can peel away the bone. I can take off the bone, a layer of the bone, and then I am seeing the brain. And you should see that my instrument is here. I don't want 3 sagittal coronal pictures. This is not what I want. I want the fused image. I want the fused image where I can see where I am. The coronal, sagittal, and axial image, and the probe being somewhere is a lot of work for the young neurosurgeon. I mean, the senior neurosurgeon can figure it out, but the young neurosurgeon, it's a whole lot of a work. With navigation, you really do that. So you need a fused image, and you need to have structures inside which can be highlighted. For example, the skull base itself, you can highlight the cranial nerves in a different color. That's the beauty of digitization. You can navigate. I mean, you were talking about segmentation. So carotid can be completely in a different color. Cranial nerves can be a different color. Tumor can be a different color. So when you're doing things, where is this tumor limit? Where are the cranial nerves going to come? Where is your tent? Where is your petrous bone? How much more petrous bone do you have to remove? And another beautiful thing is the camera. The camera, as he said, the camera can be navigated. Even the view from the camera should be added to the virtual image reality, which means you've seen the panorama, right? The phone, how it shoots panorama, which means the phone just moves like that. The image is captured and stitched together. So when the camera sees something, that part of it is seen, and when the camera moves, that part is stitched together to contribute to your virtual reality picture, to your mixed reality picture. This is, this is like a panorama image. So 360 panorama image, you see? And this is what you need to constantly keep updating. So these 3 things, if you can combine, we will have a mixed reality picture where we can start operating. I would like the guys to contribute to this.
Anybody else have anything to say about that? Well, let me take time to introduce you to a few guys. I don't know if you know Carlos Yumaguano. He's a neurosurgeon from Ecuador. He just arrived. Hello, Carlos.
Hello, John.
I don't know if you met Carlos. Have you met Carlos before? He's from Ecuador and Spain. And Naran is here. Hello, Naran. I don't know if you're here. Khalif is here. Dr. Goya, I believe, is from China. And you guys want to say anything or say hello to Ike?
Hello, John.
Hello. Welcome.
Goi, you are fantastic. Goi, Ram is also here. Narayan
Hi,
is
brother.
Okay. What kind of feedback do you want to get Ike, from these neurosurgeons? Feedback about neuronavigation, or what they want to see in it, or what should we do here?
No, I would like Narayan and Goi and Edmundo to talk about what is more desirable for them when they do the programs. What are the things, what are the problems that they face? So then Arpit would kind of understand as to what we face. For example, you know, I was operating on a ventricular tumor the other day, and you know, it was bleeding and I had to take it out very fast. The tumor was attached to the internal cerebral veins. So I needed to make sure the internal cerebral veins are okay. Okay, so I had to take it to, I mean, we had gone in through a minimally accessed route, and then the tumor bled and there was brain swelling, and suddenly, you know, we had a 4 centimeter, only a small opening, a 4 centimeter opening, and the tumor just, I mean, the brain started just bulging out. So we had to take out the tumor fast. In internal cerebral veins are, it's, you know, we had to go and take it out. Everything went okay, but in this kind of a case, I would see where the internal cerebral veins are. Even when I've just opened the dura, I'd like to see where the internal cerebral veins are. When I'm touching the tumor, how is the tumor moving? How is the internal cerebral vein moving? It's like a virtual image for me. You know, that is what we need to get it done. We need something like an intraoperative imaging, which the best thing would be ultrasound. Something ultrasound imaging could be, you know, done. This would be great. I mean, multi-port, which means 3 or 4 probes at one time. And these probes can be changed. These probes can be changed to where I'm not operating. And these probes can give continuous image of the tumor, the vessels and everything, you know. These are things that I'm thinking about right now. Now, why I'm openly saying this is because, you know, we don't want any patent, or we don't want anything to do with secretly doing something and making some money. No, we're talking about changing the world here. All right. So we're talking about neurosurgery. If we do things secretively, and if we do things for ourselves, we might end up making money, but we will never be people who will really change the world. So that is why I'm openly saying everything, whatever I'm thinking. And if you have any ideas, you guys should discuss. Maybe you don't want to say, from what I am saying, you can think about it, and you know, you should think about developing something better.
Okay. Feedback from anybody?
I would like to add one more thing, and probably the panel can give their view on that, because the interesting thing is, like, recently, like a lot of papers I have seen in which they are doing navigation on endoscope, and probably for skull-based surgeries, this is something new which is getting started. So I feel, Dr. Cherin, if we can probably divide the problem into few parts. So if we just project the image of, let's say, whatever structure we segment or we colored on endoscope as first part of it, and just see how it looks, whether the 3D view is okay or it is confusing, or how it works, probably it will help us to have more clarity. Because like some papers I have read where they have mentioned whenever we are having a 3D view projected in microscope, sometimes it is also adding confusion. So it's like on off we have to keep. So that's where it is a very good platform and the forum to understand like how would be the things, and like if there is something which we need to be addressed, probably we will keeping the things in mind while we are developing the prototypes, or we are working in the bits and pieces.
Do you have any telescopic navigation? Maybe Narayan may be able to tell us more about it.
Narayan, are you there? He may have stepped away. Let me see here.
Hello.
Go ahead, Carlos.
My name is, I am Carlos. I'm working here in Spain as a neurosurgeons, and I do a lot of things with neuronavigation. The tools for neuronavigation had a good advance in neurosurgical fields, but I think they have too many limits. For example, the first things is you can use the neuronavigations to start some techniques, some surgeries, because after, for example, in cranial neuronavigation, after to open the dura, this will be on a shift for maybe 0 to 5 millimeter shift. Another things in a cranial navigation is the most important things. I believe that it's not online navigation, because the neural navigation tools is make it up based in solid cranial reference gained after CT or MRI. But if you are working, if you are doing the surgery during this type, your navigation will not help you. Maybe you will be used for determine some structures, but it's not really the data obtained for these neural navigations. For that, in this time, we can combine it with ultrasound navigation too. This will have an online navigations. I think, for example, in the spine neural navigations is the same, because the navigations data is based on CT or MRI, keep it during supine position. But in many cases, or in all cases of spine surgery, the patient position is in a prone position. This is very different in many references case, and you will be need to navigate every 1 or 2 spine. I think the neural navigate we need to develop some tools for navigations that will be give online data, so actually data during the surgery. I think this is the challenge for the neural navigation actually. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Carlos.
So thanks, Dr. Carlos. It was a very good feedback. So I have a query, because what you mentioned for spine 3D navigation, definitely that's a problem. And like we are currently working on something called CARM and CT registration. It is in early state, but I'm just asking and trying to take your feedback. Let's say during surgery, your point is totally right. The vertebra or the spine could be in a totally different order from the position from whatever we have scanned. So if we take an intra-op, 2 shots, AP and lateral of the vertebra, and if we merge it, like, do you feel that solution could be a helpful solution?
Yeah, but we are talk about the neuro navigation system that is, for example, the navigations with C-arm, O-arm, or CT is charged by the radiation things. But for example, if we talk about the spine cranial neuro navigation with MRI or the CT images, do it before the surgery, planning with them. I think this is not an online or live navigations. I think, for example, with CT, with O-arm or C-arm, spine neuro navigation is very different things.
John is telling, please don't leave. John.
Yes,
No, John, the thing is, Edmundo, I would want Edmundo and Gui also to comment.
okay. Go ahead, Edmundo. You're muted there, Edmundo. Let me unmute
Yes.
you. Well, go ahead.
Now,
Go ahead.
maybe now you can hear me, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, I think talking about this topic, the key word is improvement. About instrument, devices, equipment, everything can be improved, and in consequence, we can improve surgery. So, talking about this device, that hybrid device combining neural navigation and virtual reality or augmented reality. Will allow us to do a big jump in our field, and for sure for many other branches of surgery. The objective of this device is not only to use during the surgery and preserve the structures, but also to for the planification before the surgery. So it will be very, very important, and also for minimal invasive surgery, preserving structures and reaching with a very accurate our target during the surgery, whatever it is, tumor, aneurysm, whatever. So I think this panel is very important because we are discussing also with engineers and people who understand better the technology. And talking about technology, I think is something that we can use now with the current technology. It's not something that we need to develop new technology or something like that. We can use the available technology to improve the surgery and to improve the equipments and devices that we are using now.
Yeah. So Arpit and rest of the guys, see, let's do this in steps. Let's
Okay.
see how we can fuse a virtual real image obtained, or otherwise, in other words, let us take out the sagittal, coronal, and axial images out from navigation. Let us make an image which is the surgical field. So basically, what we are trying to do is we are trying to cut out a portion where surgery is going on and give it a little bit of depth and width. You understand me, Arpit? Are you understanding me? Everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
What I am trying to tell you is, if supposing this is the window, oh, my hands, yeah, let's say if this is the window that the surgery is going on, let us take a block of that. We don't have to have the entire head. You just take a block out of the virtual reality image. You take a block, and in that block, I should be able to see where is the vessel, where is the tumor, where is everything. And when my instrument goes in, instead of the surgical field, just the surgical field, I see everything in that block in transparency when I need to. not always when I need to. So with this block, my computational power and my processing power needs to be much less. You don't need to navigate the entire brain when we are operating in just a 4-centimeter hole. So you just need to cut out a block. That block cutting out, we need to figure out how we can do that. And because, if you're operating in a ACOM or let's say a petroclival tumor, the amount of navigation, you don't need to navigate frontal lobe and the other petroclival region. No, you don't need to do it. You just need to cut out a block, not an axial sagittal coronal, as a block. And I need to see where are the cranial nerves, where are the vessels, where is ICA, where is spica, each one of these. This is going to be much more helpful. And I don't think the computational powers has to be too large because we just thinking about a block. Okay, so let me know how practical this is going to be. And after that, instead of putting these large markers, I understand your patterns are fantastic. Instead of they have the wide angle and all that, but can you do something which is inbuilt into each instrument handle? So for example,
Yes.
something which is small and inbuilt into each instrument handle, maybe 2 or 3 of them. That could be optical, of course, or could be emitting something, okay? For anybody, or which is sound, which is light sort of thing, emitting something, okay? Or that can help you to navigate as well. You don't need to have this, it doesn't look like right out of the Joker movie, So you need to have something inbuilt into the suction, inbuilt into the drill, inbuilt into everything, so that you should know where the tip is with relation to this block. And this block should be fused to your surgical field. Now, these are the things. So, number one, take out the sagittal coronal and axial views, make it into a 3D view, and fuse this 3D view, make a block, take a cut out of that 3D view. Wherever you want to cut, you can cut. And then navigate only there. And once you navigate there, things are going to be much better.
Yeah, definitely that sounds interesting when we reduce the computational power. So because a lot of computation we can probably save in that. And definitely when we have to reduce the pattern, because one of the new generation of camera is about to come somewhere in July, which will reduce the pattern size to 1/3. So it will be quite handy at that time. And what we can do is, like, usually we have custom attachments which can be attached on various drills or something, and if required we can always make sure those things remains attached forever. But it depends if we want to get it attached, or we can create our own section which can have those permanent markers attached forever. So markers or the section is navigated forever. Or maybe if it is a simple attachment, we can put it on drill and get it navigated. So those things are still more in our control. What we have to see is like how we can project a virtual 3D image and on maybe a screen. And probably I feel a good starting point could be a endoscopic image, because that will have more things in our control, and that will give us more direction and the clarity.
Yes, yes. Narayan, do you have anything to say?
Okay, Naran, we'll unmute you there. I believe Naran is having technical difficulties. He can't hear. Can you hear, Naran?
Hello,
ahead,
can
Naran.
you?
Yeah, we can hear you, Naran. Go ahead. Welcome.
Okay, so I think, are we talking about navigating instruments and also the drill systems and navigating real time what we are doing and going and touching the structure with any instrument, or maybe dissecting with the instrument? Is it what we are talking about?
Yes, Narayan.
It's already there. Then it's already there. We do that with the navigation systems now available itself. And when we do the drilling, we actually get we have what is called the nerve markers, and we mark the area, and when we drill, if it touches the vital structure, it'll give a beep. And if it gives a beep, then you cannot drill anymore. Even sometimes the drill stops. So we have programs where the drill stops also. So that's already there. This technology is already there.
Yeah, so we have to go one step ahead of it. I have been talking for many years now. And I mean, I am very glad that things are coming up right now. But the thing is, we have to go a step ahead, literally, because we need to see what is with us. I mean, not just a beep or something, but
okay. Now the next generation navigation is called the waypoint. I don't know if you have used that. I have used that in real-time surgery, and what it does is we have point A and point B. For example, you have an acom aneurysm, for example, and I'm going to start with a particular part in the skull. Then you can actually mark point A and point B, and you have a green line which goes from point A to point B. And then if I deviate from that line, it's like a GPRS, exactly like a GPRS. And if I deviate from that line, it will show a red signal. It'll show red. And you cannot, you can also mark certain structures where you don't want to touch. So you will have the route mapped already in the navigation. This is what is called the waypoint navigation. And it's already there, and I have worked with that also. So I have been operating with that. It's there with Karl Storz, and I mean, the technology is already there. That's called the next generation waypoint navigation.
Yeah, this is interesting. So what we do is generally we will see this. I will see what is this waypoint navigation.
It's called the way, W-A-Y. It's way, just the way. Point navigation. It's called the waypoint navigation, and it's available already with a superimposition of the MRI and the CT. You can actually superimpose both images. You can, if you want, cut whatever you want, the bone or anything like that, and you can just navigate your instrument, your drills, whatever you want. And when you go inside, it will actually give you exact color as well as sound. So there's no way you can commit a mistake when you do it with that.
This system may be very costly, but there is a car called the Ford Raptor. The new Ford Raptor has a feature called the breadcrumbs. Okay? So if you are off-roading, if you are a big off-roading fan, you will know that sometimes you get lost. Okay, especially in off-roading, and you are going to the place, and you can get lost. If you get lost in places like Mustang, you might die because these are altitudes of 4,000 meters, and everything looks similar. There is no tree, nothing. It's only one feature. It's a completely featureless place, like a desert. So breadcrumbs, what it does is, your car is navigating each and every second. So it is dropping points. For example, wherever you're going through, the car is dropping anchor, digital anchor, and then it is, it is each time, every second it is navigating. So, and then when you want to come back, as you said, it tells you how to come back. And you can fuse it. If you have satellite imagery, you can fuse it. Google Maps as to where you are and how you're going, and where is this breadcrumbs, where is this breadcrumbs leading you to. So this system is already there. It is not Karl Storz. It's there in all other technology. So the thing is, we need to get.
No, I'm sorry. I just told you that I just work with Karl Storz. Maybe the other people have also got it. I'm just telling you that I just work with one system which is there in Karl Storz. It's not that the others don't have. Maybe the Medtronic has got it, a Brain Lab. To me, I think the only caveat, the most important bottleneck we'll have to solve in a navigation system is the real-time imaging, which is not there, I think, at the moment in any of the navigations. And if you get the real-time that is if you retract the brain, if you retract the brain, if you retract the maybe the position of the tumor changes, the position changes, but that is not shown in the navigation. So it actually has got the images which we have fed already. So this is going to be the next challenge in a navigation, I think, science.
Yeah, this you can sort out with multi-probe ultrasound. So you have an ultrasound probe from here, you have one from here, you have one from here. So you have multi-probe ultrasound fixed to the brain and which can be moved around, and then AI and multi-probe navigate sound get very good real-time images. This is what I believe.
Oh, okay, that's great. That's really great.
This is what I believe. So I want Arpit and the rest of the guys to start working on CT and MRI, intraop CT and intraop. We have the intraop MRI, and to be very frank, because it is that table is a pain, you know, everything is a real pain. I would rather not have use it than to use intraop MR. So you should have something which is going on, dynamic imaging. So intraop imaging, that will be the best, would be ultrasound. You can certain parameters and ultrasounds, not just one port, multiple. So all these is getting a very complex, like the CT has, now the CT has one, just not one sector, one detector. So you can completely algorithms. So you already have a fusion image already, and then you are navigating there, and then your shift is calculated by this multiple. This is, I think, would be the next generation. Once we get there, I think much more easier. And all these guys taking 10 years and 15 years to excel in neurosurgery would be hardly 1 year, I can assure you. And then people would be interested more in operating than paper writing. Now I think paper writing is famous because neurosurgery is difficult. So that is why guys are interested. Always things take the least resistant path. So paper writing, big with paper writing and politics. So that is where everybody is right now. And if you do surgery for 15, 20 years, all you get to reach is a place below the politician and the paper writer. You don't want to get into surgery, and problem. But once we make surgery easy, things will change. That is what I want. I mean, I want surgeons to be on top rather than a paper writer, politician, and the industrialist who is supporting both the paper writer and the politician for nonsense should not be on top. This is what I want. This is why surgeons should put their brains into making things easier for the next generation, rather than making things more difficult. There are the surgeon feels that, oh, I spent my entire life, operating and learning these secrets, so I should not give it to anybody. This is wrong. Because the primeval man got a fire and hunting animals. Their lives, and that's why we are here. So we have the same responsibility towards the future. And if we stop it, that is what a sin is. It is not about morality or anything. Stopping progress is sin. So what I think we should be putting our brains into, making things as, experience from Narayan, experience from other experts. That is what we should be doing. When you're operating, what is stopping you? What is your bottleneck? These things, if you can sort it out, then nothing more better for the future generation.
Very good. Arpit, is there any questions you want to ask a neurosurgeon? Is there any particular area you want to get feedback, Arpit?
Specifically, I would like to take a feedback on the their willingness to do a time setup for doing a pre-plan for a surgery. So usually I have seen some of the software or examples like they have to do a lot of specifically segmentation, pre-planning, making nerves, ventricle, vessels, all those things out. So as per my understanding, it takes time, roughly 10 to 15 minutes or maybe more depending on the requirement or the amount which we have to do. So I just wanted to take the feedback from the community, like how are they comfortable in spending that much of time for every surgery, or they will be willing it to doing it only for specific surgeries? Like what's their feedback?
Okay, here we go. It's open. Hope we get some feedback.
No, I just can't understand the question. Can you repeat the
Okay,
question, please?
sure. Okay, go ahead, Arpit.
Yeah, so my question is, let's say when we are talking about navigation and doing pre-planning for navigation. So for example, let's say when we are doing a transnasal surgery and when we have to mark, let's say or optical nerve or maybe any specific area where we don't want to reach. So it requires some kind of segmentation. So either you have to draw that red, right, or some colors. It is something automated, then sometimes it goes beyond to a range, then we have to do a recorrection, and it is like some time spent is required for doing that. So as per my understanding, still now whatever the technology is existing, at least 10 to 15 minute time spent is required for doing a kind of a segmentation. So what I wanted to understand is like, is something 10 to 15 minutes is fine, or sometimes when we weigh time versus benefits, we feel probably this thing we can do without that also. So that will help us to understand why we are developing the features into a new system.
I think I mean the time spent 10 to 15 minutes. I don't think it matters at all. I mean, if you are safe during surgery, then and if something aids us and helps us to do surgery better, then why not? I don't think the time is going to matter. I think more importantly, if we can market, I mean, if there is a better planning before surgery, I think that is really worth it. I don't see the time as a factor.
Okay,
That is
great.
my perception.
Okay. Would it be worth it for you, Edmundo, to spend that much time?
Yes, I would like to say something. I think the real challenge for the engineering is the software that can match the landmarks, the body or head landmarks with the images, MRI or whatever, and to project it in a screen or in a virtual reality glasses. I think that's the thing, to develop a software or some program with some algorithms to mix this image and also to reduce the latency, because with some devices the time of latency is very long, so it's not very useful. The latency should be imperceptible. So I don't know if is that possible with the current processors and devices that we have.
I mean, is the question about pre-op or per-op? The latency period pre-op or per-op? Because the question was, you don't mind spending time pre-operatively to plan. But the per-op, I don't think there's latency at all. I mean, that's so short. You can just track it very fast. The per-operative latency is different from the pre-operative latency.
Yes, I think the power of the processor that we need is more during the surgery, because for the pre-op, yeah, it's possible we have more time and we can manage. But during the surgery, when we are moving the instruments or the pointer, is very important to reduce the latency. And of course, the processor should be enough to process all that information.
Okay.
Thanks, that great input. So I have already noted down the during surgery the latency for virtual reality because it requires a lot of computation, and Dr. Ipe has given some suggestion like instead of doing complete processing, probably we can have a part processing to reduce the computational requirement.
Khalif, do you have any feedback for ARPID about what you want to look for in a neural navigation system? Are you there, Khalif? He perhaps stepped away.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
John,
Khalif.
I'm here.
Go ahead, Khalif.
I'm listening to the conversation very well.
Okay.
It's very, very interesting. And as I said before, with this dream of Dr. Iba, we hope that it's going to come to fruition in the coming future. One of the things that I wanted to suggest is the lighting technology currently is not optimum, as he pointed out several times. My smallest contribution to this conversation is I would have loved to see lighting technology that is able to differentiate white matter tract from tumor, from gray matter tissue, from cranial nerves and vessels. Just the normal, you don't have to use 5-ALA or fluorescein or anything else, but the lighting technology and laser and spectroscopy and all these things combined, a technology that will be able to differentiate white matter from gray matter, nerves from vessels, just by as you are working here.
ARPID, any word on development of such a software package or whatever to distinguish white and gray matter?
As you are working.
As you're working, real time, right?
Real time, yes. So you don't have to use dye or coloring agents to.
Okay.
That, yeah.
Okay. ARPID, are you there?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
here. So I'm
Okay.
just understanding.
Okay.
Because it's an interesting, definitely if something like this happen, definitely it's going to make things easy. So, but still I'm not aware specifically what happening in specifically lighting domain. So that is something which we have to figure it out because we are still understanding a lot of innovations are happening. In fact, we also did some experiments in Trichy only, but with microscope color lightings and those things we have done to figure it out instead of having a costly microscope, how we can simply have the color filters and get the visualization. But still, like having white matter tracts and gray matter particles, all those things still require a lot of understanding and innovation. So I'm not very much aware of what's happening in the space, but it's an interesting point. So we can keep the things, to keep our mind open on those aspects.
I have a question. What's the most costly part of the process, ARPID, of the neural navigation? What part is really the part that costs the most?
In terms of money or time?
Yeah, well, both. Which is a area where you got to deal with that is expensive or whatever, is the most costly of the whole neural navigation?
So the most costly thing is the 3D camera, what we
The
call a
camera.
stereotaxy camera,
Okay.
because it has been developed by few companies in the world, and definitely it requires a lot of precision. So at this point of time, we also don't want to play with that, but definitely we feel that the capability is there and we understand how it works. So those things can also be developed, which can actually fit, because when we are talking about astroscope project, definitely we will be requiring one level extra processing. We actually have to develop a lot of technology from scratch, and probably this could be one of those technologies.
So a lower cost camera.
Yeah, and
Which part of the camera is most expensive? Is it the lens that makes it so expensive, or which part of the camera?
so I would say the software which runs behind that, because the camera is still not that costly, but what software which converts a normal image into
Okay,
a
the
3D
software
image,
that
and
comes with the camera.
yes,
Okay, and you're
gives
limited
that.
to the types of software now? There's only a couple of companies that make it?
Yes.
Okay, that's a bottleneck, huh? You have to somehow deal with that. Okay.
So is it possible to develop a user interface to make more? We can see the see the patient's head like transparent, and so we can understand better when do endoscope surgery. We can through the skin and the bone to see the structures inside of the scalp, and in real time. I because I don't like the interface, the navigation system, so we use now. So is it possible to develop like software, or we can see through the HoloLens using the preoperative imagings project on the patient's head to make it clear, to make it transparent?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of companies are working in that direction. So the possibility is there for developing it, and it's like where we wanted to see the solution, because still there are the feedbacks. If you have to wear a HoloLens for full surgery time, it still becomes uncomfortable. I just read somewhere. So again, it's like how we wanted to solve a problem. The problem could be solved in a way like we could place one extra monitor which have the images from endoscope and the projection together, so you can have maybe monitor where you are having a real image and extra monitor if required, so that can have the real projection. So you don't have to wear anything. Probably you will just have to see on second monitor to visualize what structure next is coming. So maybe it could be you can utilize it for full surgery duration, or what Dr. Seren has mentioned, you can switch on and off with a transparency. So that is I feel a lot more feasible in terms of ease of use as well as the applicability. We can see that thing happening quite fast. But when we say HoloLens, then it's still, I would say, in a stage where it requires more refinement and development. The HoloLens technology in itself is it requires some more maturity to be ready for that level.
Okay, very good. Okay, Arpit, do you have any contact info if any neurosurgeon wants to ask you a pointed question about the neuro navigation system? Do they just go to the website and write you an email? Is that what they should do?
Yeah, definitely they can do that. Or what I will do, I will share my contact in the
Yeah,
chat.
why don't you do that right now? Put on the screen right now the contact info so people can get hold of you. And of course, for everyone, we're going to have a more detailed discussion of the neuronavigation systems offered by Arpit's company in a couple of weeks, right? A week or two for a formal presentation. Everyone's invited to participate. So you want to put I can put your website up there if you want me to. Let me just get off this here. Hold on here. Just give me a second. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way.
I can help you with that. I'll just put that in the chat if you want.
Yeah. Well, I can just put it up on the screen, and it just takes a second. Here. And this is my chance to share. Okay. There is the website HRS Navigation, and to contact you, obviously you go to the contact page, hrsnavigation.com. There's the contact info. Because basically, yeah, we're just kind of looking for lower price solutions to third world problems, neuronavigation. The alternatives now are very, very high priced, and it just won't work. So, Ike, any closing remarks? I don't know if Ike may have stepped away. That's okay. Okay, very good. Thanks everybody for coming. Any closing comments for anybody?
So I would like to
thank. Go ahead, Arpit.
So all the neurosurgeon. It was very interesting discussion. and it will actually help us to make sure whatever we are designing is aligned with the real neurosurgeon fraternity need, because we had adding complexity into the system. We don't want to add a extra button for extra feature. We actually would love to reduce the things, and we would be happy to make meaningful things available in the system, which creates more impact on the longer run.
You know, that's why I love this platform, and I will tell you, I mean, it puts us on the improves communication, and I think it's important to improve communication between neurosurgeons and engineers, and this is a platform to do it. You guys are busy with your own neurosurgery conferences. You can't go to an engineering conference, so this is an alternative. And one thing I like to say, Ip, is that in the coming months, there'll be less conferences in person. We'll be glad to televise a neurosurgery conference. Now, you're going to see more conferences canceling. So just let us know, Ike. Any conferences you feel are important, we'll try to arrange to put them online.
Yeah. And now the coronavirus online conferences are going to be the rule now.
Yes, yes. We're organizing one in Mexico City in August, and already they're thinking of canceling in August. Because when people arrange conferences, they got to arrange flights and, you know, got to know way ahead of time. So cancellations are going to be big in conferences. So our door's open if you guys want to run a conference or know of one. So, okay, any, Manuel, hello, Manuel. We haven't seen you. You just arrived.
See you, Edmundo. See you, Boy. I must leave too now.
Well, Ipe, thank you very much, Ipe. We're going to be back with Arpit in a more detailed discussion soon.
Sure.
It was nice to see you, everybody. And of course, it was a pleasure to see you again, Dr. Ipe and Manuel.
Same. It's the same, yeah.
There's many. Thanks, Dr. Goyak, for coming. And thanks, Arpit. Excellent. Well,
thank you.
The door's open, Arpit, and now we can get some good communication going, good dialogue. And
yeah, definitely.
Hopefully you'll hear from a lot of neurosurgeons and give you an idea and maybe save some time. So
definitely.
We're going to hang, Naran is going to give a presentation, but not for a while. So if you guys can hang around or just come back from the same link if you want to attend Naran's presentation. And he's going to actually do a live Facebook Live, and we're going to basically take his feed and put it on Neurosurgical TV. So, but you know, the event code is on it's public information. You know, it's available to anybody to take the code and to put it on the Neurosurgical TV site. So we're going to stop this recording formally, and we hope you guys hang out.